What's up, everybody?
Yeah, another good evening. What you sipping? We were just talking about it.
Heaven Hill. It is. I'll tell you why I got this. I'd actually never tried it, and I mean, I kind of pride myself in really kind of dabbling in the bourbon world.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know that I've heard of it now that I look at the bottle.
They distill their own. It's not Buffalo Trace or anything, and that's why this bourbon.
See, family owned.
Yeah, this bourbon page that I follow, it was like asking, "What's your go-to?" Or no, it said if you could only drink one bourbon or one like brand bourbon for the rest of your life, who would it be? He had Buffalo Trace Distillery, Heaven Hill, and like a couple others. And so I was like, man, and a bunch of people voted for Heaven Hill.
Okay.
So I said, well, I got to try this out. And man, I tell you what, it's pretty freaking good. This is, for anyone wondering, this is just.
It's 100 proof. Yeah.
It's 100 proof, Heaven Hill, bottled in bond. Yep, just Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's 100 proof. It's good, man. It's really good. And so, encourage people, try it out. It's got my stamp of approval. What are you drinking?
The Smoke Wagon.
Okay.
You know what it is? Yeah, I almost said Smokehouse, but yeah, Smoke Wagon.
Made in Vegas.
Believe, yeah, that might be right. Yeah.
Yep. I got the cool, does it got the cool bottle?
Yeah, it is a pretty neat looking bottle. Yeah, I was kind of going through the cabinet, and it's kind of like we talked about a couple weeks ago, how I don't mind a real hot bourbon. And I was like, yeah, it's just something just real easy sipping. And I believe it's 100 proof.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, everything else I had was like 110, 120.
I'm kind of annoyed myself on the Smoke Wagon because I had the bottle. I don't know, I've drank a couple bottles of the Smoke Wagon now, and I had the really cool one that's got like it's like a pattern in the glass of the.
Yeah,
and
that's the one.
I threw it away after I drank it, and I was like, man, that'd been a cool one because we want to put some, like make pepper sauce and I was like, that'd been a cool one for that. Now, it is a dark, the bottle is dark.
Yeah, that's the only thing, because the peppers obviously are very,
colorful and
kind of decorative to it.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't be able to see them as good, but yeah, otherwise that is a pretty cool bottle.
It is indeed. Before we go too deep, first, actually, comment below. Like, I want to know what you guys are drinking. Bobby Lee and I talk about what we're drinking. What's some of your brands? If y'all had the Heaven Hill, or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
when this episode drops first thing on Friday morning,
what are you drinking?
It's Friday. What are you drinking on your way into work?
Yep. 4:30 in the morning is when this drops. So, what are you pouring in with your coffee?
No. We don't recommend that at all. Unless you work at a job, like, I don't know.
Hey, I could do it. Yeah.
Maybe you work at a gentleman's club. You're a bouncer.
There you go.
I mean, something like that. So.
Or if you're a farmer,
we're not here to judge.
Yeah. Hey, I have cracked open a cold one. Generally, when I drink, like when I'm planting, it's at night. Like, I'll tell you something I love to do. I don't know if this is illegal. I don't care if I'm admitting guilt or something, but there's been several times where I've come in and if I'm going to be planting like all night long, I'll come in, eat dinner with the wife and kids. I got the old style, them old coolers that you push the side in and it flips over.
Oh, yeah.
I got some of those, and I'd fill it up with some ice, and I'd put like 3 or 4 bottles of beer. Like, I like the glass bottle, Coors Light generally. I'd put them in there. Dude, I love it, man. I go back to the field. I remember I planted a farm right over here. It's like 110 acres. I knew I'd be out there for a while. It's like good running flat. It's just real pretty. Man, I was out pitch black dark, which I got the lights. I've mentioned my Larson lights. They're LEDs, super bright lights. Man, it's just nothing. You can't beat drinking a cold beer in the tractor when you're planting some crops and it's just nothing around. Like, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think I have actually I did mix some bourbon one time in my little Yeti tumbler, and I drank it. My wife was like, I don't think that you should be drinking whiskey while you're operating a tractor. I'm like, well, I might have had a little bit more of a buzz when I got done, but I still planted. GPS kept the rows straight.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because of course, like hayfield and stuff, we don't do much once the dew gets on, but there's been a time or two when, like, if the wife and kids are like at my in-laws or something, and like I've got a bunch of pasture to clip.
Do some cocaine.
Yeah, so I can just stay up on it.
Power through.
No, but I'll go out there. I may run till just on a random weeknight. Heck, it's 6 o'clock before I can get out there anyway. If I'm at the clinic all day, and drinking a beer in the tractor cab, nothing wrong with that. Like our buddy Tim, he's a listener to the show, and
Yep.
I actually just got done baling his hay. He's always notorious. If I'm out there at his house,
I'll bring you a beer.
He's gonna bring me a beer out there.
Hey, that's a good landlord there.
Oh yeah, no, he's fantastic in more ways than one. But he, actually this time, because of the rain on Friday, which we talked about last week, which I beat the rain barely. I started raking hay at 8 a.m. It wasn't even quite 8, which of course the dew wasn't even dried off good, but the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
But it was like, all right, I can bale it with just a little dew on it or with a lot of rain.
Yep.
And so I got done before he actually got back in town. So,
So
heck,
you missed the beer.
but then I had we had T-ball and stuff all weekend. He stacked all the hay for me. He moved it out of the field and stacked it, and he actually helped me move tractor home yesterday.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, dang good landlord.
Oh yeah, well heck, he's helped us even on the row crop stuff. He's come run grain buggies and stuff for us.
A lot of times if I'm cutting the hay, because he's still got his own hay equipment,
Yeah,
and if he's in town,
he'll rake it.
well, he has, but he'll put his mower on his tractor and he'll be out there, cutting the hay right there with me.
Yeah.
And
Well, hell, he flew helicopters in the Marine Corps. So that's what Dad and I are like. Hey, if you can fly a helicopter, you can drive a tractor.
right, yeah.
He's a good dude. And actually, some of our whiskey in here is brought to you by
This one right here.
by Mr. Tim. So, and we like to poke fun at him. He's a retired Marine. So I didn't get to make fun of him this year. The Marine Corps did not share the pride emblem. Last year they put up.
They're about damn near the only ones who hadn't.
I know the freaking Navy SEALs did. The Navy SEALs, special warfare.
I should be appalled, but I'm not shocked.
Yeah. Well, that's and
Damn USDA. I mean, we'll bring it back to ag. Like, June is dairy month. Like in the dairy industry, I mean, it's no secret to anybody. Like that's a tough industry, especially for the small to medium-sized dairies. Like support our dairy brethren.
And they ain't getting
yet
it.
on June 1, the USDA has an option. Do we make a social media post, which not that a social media post changes the world, about, hey, it's dairy month, go out and buy you an ice cream cone and pound you some, just a big old glass of milk, eat some cheese, whatever. Hell no, we'll do a pride. Yeah, because that's what matters.
Pander to that. Yep.
Yeah.
It just it kills me. Like I said, if it. That's why it honestly frustrated me so much that it's dairy month, because if they had just put up a pride thing and it's not dairy month, nothing ag related, I'd been like, well, of course, whatever. But the fact that it is actually also an ag related month, that's where it pissed me off.
I'll look them up right now while we sit here. If they put anything up for dairy month, since then.
I don't think I had seen any, which I don't follow them.
I don't either. Well, they still have the pride flag up.
Around the emblem.
Yeah, around there as their official, like, we call it their avatar, I guess.
Yeah.
Their, like, profile picture. So.
Oh, they did put up one thing.
They did put up one post for Celebrate Dairy Month. And actually, I hate to even do this. I'll give them a little credit. It was done on June 1. But then the very next post was Celebrating Pride 2024.
Yeah, their profile picture ought to have like milk around it or something, instead of the.
But it's like that. And I don't want to spend every episode this month talking about Pride Month because we could rant about it forever. But this month we uplift the achievements and resiliency. And then here's the whole damn alphabet community. LGBTQI+. USDA is committed to fostering cultural competency within our workforce, advancing equality for all who we serve. Look, if you want to be gay and be a farmer, be gay and be a farmer. I give zero shits. It has zero to do with what you accomplish on your farm. It does not matter to me. It should not matter to the USDA or anyone else.
Agreed.
Like Like, what is it? Like, none of that matters. Yeah, dang. I welcome all the gay people into farming, especially if you're a young farmer, a young gay farmer. Now, of course, I would say, well, I wish you were heterosexual. That way you could
spread for us.
Us in agriculture know better than ever that you need a heterosexual relationship to, propagate the species and raise up more farmers. But you know what? With the average age of a farmer being nearly 60, if you're 40 and under gay farmer, by golly, come on, join us up. But no, I don't. I'm not going to celebrate the fact that you're gay.
Well,
I'd rather celebrate the fact that you're a young farmer.
That's what I'm trying to find, this Norm Macdonald.
And nor should you have your identity wrapped up in that.
Your sexual I've never understood why your sexual orientation becomes your entire identity.
Yeah.
Like I'm a straight dude. Everything that I do doesn't revolve around, like, I don't enter a room and be like, guys, I'm straight.
Yep.
You know, like I don't I've never understood that. I'm trying to find this hilarious Norm Macdonald. I'm a fan of old Norm.
While you're looking for that, I will go ahead with
give a shout out. Yep.
The Ags Anniversary sale has ended. It officially ended by the time this drops about a day and a half ago on the 5th. But as you all know, because you're all avid listeners of the Talk Dirt to Me podcast, use the discount code TALKDIRT, all caps, all one word. Everything is always 10% off with that code. So there's always a sale running in that regard. But yeah, they had lots of good sales. Hopefully some of y'all got to take advantage of it. But yeah, fast shipping, very reasonable, even on those big bulky items like the bail net wrap. It's that time of year for you're doing a lot of spray and the ag sprayers that go on the back of the side-by-side. Whatever you need, check them out. Be sure to use that discount code.
That's right. All right. Here you go. This will
be our last thing on Pride Month, then we're moving on.
Yeah.
We got too many other topics that we didn't get to last week.
If you have children around, they need to not be around for about a minute and 47 seconds.
Well, our gay audience will be fine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because this is a little vulgar. I'm just going to give you all a warning.
Have you ever done anything in your long and storied career that you consider specifically to be in bad taste as you look back on it? Maybe at the time you thought it was a good play, but you look back on it and you think that was in bad taste.
Well, sometimes, like in stand-up, I'll do jokes that are like one time.
Let's warm up.
In San Francisco, and they were all gay people in the audience.
Here we go.
Look back on it and you think that was in bad taste.
Let me make sure I'm at the right part.
Pride parade, and I saw in it there were these.
Here we go. All right.
They love that.
And so I was talking about, because I went to this gay pride parade, and I saw in it there were these old men and old ladies like with these signs that said, "We are proud of our gay son." You know, and so I was saying that's an odd thing to be proud of, because it's not an achievement, it's not like something you work all your life to be gay or anything like that. And I just wondered, I had a hard time believing that these 50, 60-year-old men are actually bragging, at work like they're, hey, Bill, my kid, oh my God, we're proud of him, Johnny. He graduated from Harvard, the first in his class, you know what I mean? Now he's articling over at a law firm, and oh yeah, he loves cock. This kid, he can't get enough cock in his mouth, his ass, his kid's always cock. I got a picture of the boy here sucking another man's cock.
To watch the maturation of you as an artist.
But yeah, the broader point there, right? It's
nothing you've done to be that.
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah. Again, don't care if you're gay. Be
Yeah.
gay. That makes you happy. You're doing it with another consenting adult. Go for it, man. I mean, whatever. But yeah, it's not an accomplishment. It's nothing to like have pride in. But anyway,
No.
All right, enough of that.
All right. You know what we did? Well, we didn't miss it because we weren't recording. You know what 2 days ago was?
Killdozer Day.
Killdozer anniversary, man.
20 years. I was
that's
like,
crazy.
whoa, I'm old.
That's crazy, man. Bust out a big bad Komatsu. I was showing the kids like some of the news footage of him going through, wreaking havoc. $7 million worth of damage. It's pretty.
That show you I got the flag.
No.
It says tread on them.
I've seen the flag. When did you get that? Just recent?
I actually ordered one like a long time ago off eBay, and it never came in. Like I had to like file a claim, and so I ordered another one. But yeah, what was this famous quote? Sometimes reasonable men have to do unreasonable things.
Yep. Marv Heemeyer.
Which he had some screws loose. I'm not gonna
Oh, yeah.
sit here and pretend he didn't.
But he's become like quite the icon, and
Well, and he's a lot of ways, and I hate to even, kind of like George Floyd. He's,
like an anti-hero.
Well, I mean, George Floyd, let's be real here.
He's a felon.
He was a drug addict. Like, he accomplished way more because he got killed by a cop.
People that are
than
saying
he ever would have.
People that are like, how can you guys support a felon when we support Trump are now, there you go. They're like, how can you support a felon? They're the same ones that were like praising George Floyd.
Eulogized him like
Dude held a pregnant woman at gunpoint. Like, he was a great guy, yeah.
And Marvin didn't have any of that in his background, but he was, nobody knew who he was outside of his little community and his friends, but he became like a cult hero for those of us anti-government folks.
Well, I got...
And probably for reasons, more than what he even deserved.
Yeah.
Because, again, after watching the story, I'm like, okay, he did have some grievances with them, but was he as wrong as he thought he was?
Yeah, that's kind of...
I don't know. But it's more about the principle of, standing up to government, trying to screw the man.
Yep. So, I told you I got pulled over. I shared that.
You did. Well, this was Friday morning when I'm like raking hay, and I'm like, it got up to, it said it was an 80% chance of rain at 8 a.m.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm driving this hay baler to the field just to get rained on.
Yeah.
And I was praying to God, and my prayers were answered.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were texting me as I was doing this that you just got. I didn't realize you were texting me as you were pulled over.
Yeah, I was sitting there pulled over. I'm like,
he kept you there for a while,
dude. Listen to this. If he would not have pulled me over, I would have finished planting that hayfield. I got rained out in Bolton, and whenever I got rained out, I was like, damn. If he would not have kept me so long, I would have finished this
How
field.
long was the total stop?
I guarantee you I was there for 30 minutes.
I think it had to be long. Because when you text me, you said, well, I got pulled over. I assumed like it had over and done with. And then it was a while later you text me and you're like, well, I won't ruin the rest of the story. But I was like, oh, it's still ongoing. Like,
Let's see. That was Friday.
Yeah, it was Friday morning.
Trying to look. I can tell you. It was 8:24. Okay, it was actually almost an hour. Yeah, you're right.
I was about to say, because
it was damn near an hour.
Because I couldn't believe, because whenever you text me, I was like, what?
8:24. I was on the phone with a chemical guy at 8:24, and I looked up in my mirror, and I saw, and I am in my service truck pulling a seed tender. And so I'm headed to the field. It's supposed to rain. So I'm pulling this seed tender to the field. I'm trying to hurry up because I'm like, man, it's going to freaking rain. So I want to finish this field. I had a 45 acre field to plant. So I'm like trying to get there. I'm not even speeding. And I'm on the phone with a chemical rep, and I say, oh man, cop, there was a car behind me and then a cop. And I said, oh shit, there's somebody getting pulled over. And I saw him, he had his blue lights on. He goes around the car that's behind me, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to get over. So I go to get over, and I'm like by the dentist office, and he just keeps getting over. So I tell the guy, I'm like, well, hell, it's me. I'm getting pulled over. So I hang up the phone. Yeah, that was at 8:24. I left there at 9:13. So almost an hour. But he comes.
So what? Yeah, I guess tell your story. Yeah.
Well, he comes up and he says, where's your safety chains? And look, I'm pulling, for anybody that's wondering, like, I'm pulling an Easy Trail seed tender is what it is. It's like a 300 or 400 bushel seed tender. No, probably 300 bushel. And it's a turd, man. These are little cheap seed tenders. They're for like a guy that can't afford a real high dollar one. And so that's what I got. It's like a $5,000 seed tender, $4,000 seed tender.
So it is law that you have to have chains hooked up.
I didn't know that until now. He comes walking up.
Does that seed tender have a safety chain?
No.
Did it at one time?
No.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I pulled that thing.
Yeah,
multiple times.
neither. We have two. Neither have a safety chain. Neither have ever had a
'Cause
safety chain.
it's essentially a gravity wagon with an auger.
Yes.
And like I have a gravity wagon, and I mean I know mine does not. Which mine's older than I am.
Well, so I roll my window down because I'm like, all right, look, I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit here. So my tags were a year out on my truck, and well, I don't want to give everything away, but my tags were out. So I'm like, how the hell did he see my tags? Like I was like, he must have seen my tags. I'm like, how the hell did he see my tags out with this seed tender? So I roll my window down. He comes up and he goes, and he was all cop when he first came up. He goes, "Where's your safety chains?" And I was like so caught off guard by the question. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Why ain't you got no safety chains?" And I said, "Man, there ain't any on this trailer. Every trailer in the state of Tennessee's got to have safety chains." I said, "Dude, if it
not
had
this
them,"
one.
I said, "if it had them on there, I'd have them hooked up." I said, "But it just don't have any." He said, "They're supposed to be crisscrossed under there in case it breaks, it like catches it." And I said, "I get it, man." I said, "I'm not like against them." I said, "If it was there, I'd hook them up, but they're not there." He's like, "Well, then you got to add them." And he goes back and he looked and he comes back and he says, "It ain't even a place for them on there." And I said, "I know." I said, "That's what I'm telling you, man. They come without them." I said, "We have another one. It does
you
not."
would think like some farm equipment and stuff would be exempt.
I know, and I still wonder if it ain't. But he's like, man,
Because I'm thinking, like, does that apply to anything that hooks up to a drawbar? Because I'm trying to.
if that's the case, we got a lot of stuff that ain't got safety chains.
I'm trying to think. Like my hay baler has a chain, and I do keep it hooked up. Rake does not. Like, and I don't know that I've ever seen a hay rake that came also with chains.
I haven't either.
Tedder, same. Like, I don't. Yeah, I mean, we could list things for days. Like,
Yeah, well, that's what I told him. I said, man, I was like, I mean, I was super nice because I wasn't in a strong position of negotiation here. Because one,
well, at least you're not black.
I know that did help. I'd be dead if I was. No, I'm just kidding. But so he
You'd have been in cuffs at least.
probably. Well, I honestly was like, I'm about to get in cuffs because I also had my AR pistol, and I still ain't sure what's the verdict on that. But it was over here beside me.
As long as you just got a brace on it, that's a pistol.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. You know, they outlawed them for a little bit. So he goes, "I need your driver's license." So I said, "All right." So I gave him my driver's license, and he goes back. He says, "All right, let me go back here." And I was super nice, and so like he calmed down. Like he got off the like Mr. Cop thing and was pretty calm. Because he was like, "It don't have a place for chains." Like, I don't know if he thought I was just blowing smoke, but he's like, "There is no place for
Yeah, it wasn't
chains."
like you just had them like dragging,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
throwing sparks going down the road.
Yeah. And so I was like, "Dude, if it had them on there, I'd have them hooked up." I was like, "If they're there, I'll hook them up." And so he's like, "Let me go back here and run your license." I said, all right. So he goes back. He comes back. He says, "Dude, your tags are a year out of date." And I said, "Yeah, man, I know." And he's like, What in the world, man?" I said, "Yeah, I know." And
You tell him like I told the last guy that pulled me over for that.
it's like, taxing us for the road
Well, I
use?
told him, I just said, I think it's bullshit that you have to renew these things every year. You know?
Yes.
Like, I have to pay to use my personal property on, roads that are public owned, and
Yeah.
I should be like, well, that's how they maintain the roads. I'm like, oh, bullshit, whatever.
Well-
they waste so much damn money.
Well, that's what he's like.
Like, are you a tax collector? Like, are you here to protect and serve? Because you're not protecting or serving anyone.
Well, that's kind of how I feel really. But so he's like, "All right, well, let me go back here again." So he goes back there. Well, then he's back there for a little bit, and he comes back again, and he says, "Dude, your driver's license is expired." Now, my birthday was May 10th, and this was like, I mean, it was in June. It was June 3rd or something, June 3rd or 4th or June 1st. I don't know. It was right in June.
No, Friday was still May.
Okay, well, it was, May 10th. Look, honestly, because now we got to do the real ID thing. You got to take all this stuff up there. Like, it's kind of a process. And, dude, we've been busy. And so I just told him, I said, "Man, yeah, I know my license is expired." I said,
Well, I think all that's bullshit too. Like, I understand, like, when you turn 16, you go take a test, and they make sure you are competent to get on the road and you are safe to drive. Okay, whatever. Do that.
yeah.
But then making you pay to renew it every so often, and I'm not wanting them to test me again or anything, but you're doing nothing to like,
Yeah.
be sure I'm still capable of
Mentally
driving
competent enough to do it, yeah.
mentally, physically, whatever. It's like, no, just give us some money and we're going to give you another little piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing but a cash grab.
It is. It is. But I told him, I said, dude, I said, I haven't had time. And he goes, bro, your license is expired, your tags are expired, and you got no safety chains running.
I'm driving a privately owned vehicle that I'm paying for on a public road. Like, why should I need the government's permission to do that?
Yeah. Well, that's how I completely feel. And so he's like, I'm going to have to write you a ticket. So he goes back there. I'm just like, whatever. Because I also don't have proof of insurance. Luckily, he didn't ask. I have insurance on the thing. I just did not have it.
I don't ever have proof with me.
Yeah.
They're always just like, well, who do you have the last time I was like, I told them who had insurance through, and I don't know how they looked it up or
Hell,
whatever.
I don't know, because Shelby County gave me a ticket one time for not having proof.
Yeah.
But so the dude, he's back there. I bet you he's back there for 15 minutes, and he comes back, and he gives me a warning, and he says, "All right, man." He goes, "Look, you got a lot of stuff that you need to take care of." He said, "But I understand you're trying to get stuff done." He said, "It's about to freaking rain." He said, "I've probably done messed you up already." He said, "The last thing a farmer needs is the damn cops to be effing with him." And he goes, so.
Like, what have I been doing for the last hour? Like,
So he was like, "Man, I'm sorry, held you up," but he said, "Hopefully you can still get some stuff done." He said, "But just try to get your stuff in line." And he let me go. And so he let me go with a warning. And I was surprised. Like, with all the stuff, as soon as I got pulled over, I was like, "Oh shit, everything I got's expired." And so, but yeah, he let me go. And I did not finish. I honestly would have finished in about an hour. So really and truthfully, if I wouldn't have been held up by that stop, I would have finished planting that day. So I was kind of annoyed there when I was like, well, you know, I guess because he told me, he said, "Dude, if a THP, which is our state troopers," he said, "if one of them had pulled you over," he said, "dude, they'd have had a field day with you." And I mean, I called Marcy. I was like, "Hell, I might have gotten damn arrested." Which I told her, I was like, if I had gotten arrested, I'd have smiled in that mugshot. And I said, I'd have had fun with that one. I said, I would have
I doubt they would have arrested you. I mean,
I would have entered the political arena at that point. I would have they would have created, I'm not saying I'd go buy a Komatsu bulldozer and weld plates of armor on it, but I would be like, all right, this is my entry to politics.
yeah.
So, yeah. But dude, I'm with you, man. Like I believe in the necessity for police, for law and order, like with criminals and, you know, violent crimes and things like that. But just the seatbelt things, like we've talked about. And look, I've had people message me. They're like, "Man, it's good to wear a seatbelt." And I'm like, I'm not denying that.
Oh yeah, no.
safe.
I've recommended everybody wear their seatbelt. I wear mine the vast majority of the time. But it's nobody's business but my own.
That's what I'm saying. Like it
maybe
shouldn't
my
matter.
immediate family, because they don't want anything to happen to me.
Yeah.
But
like if a dude can, like I told Marcy when we were riding, I said, if I got pulled over right now, because there was a dude on a motorcycle behind me, and I said, if I were to get pulled over now and it was because of a seatbelt, I'd be like, well, what about the dude on the motorcycle? What about him? He can't even wear a seatbelt.
Yeah.
I am in a protected vehicle. Like, I don't have a seatbelt on. Yes, I could get.
That's a good point. I've never even thought about it like that. Like me being in a wreck in a vehicle, pickup truck without a seatbelt is infinitely safer than being on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
and
Yes,
being
you
in that
can.
same
Can
accident.
you get projectiled out of the? Absolutely, but that doesn't always happen. So, like, yeah,
It's nobody's business really but your own, and maybe you could argue your immediate family
yeah.
that love and care about you.
Why
whether you're
does
wearing a seatbelt.
tint? Why does window tint? Why is that against the law?
The only thing I can come up with is they want to see you,
And seeing that,
and that's an invasion. Yeah, of your
that's what I'm
privacy.
saying.
Yeah, that's,
So, like, to me, I'm like, why does that matter? Why should you be able to
yeah,
ticket me
they,
for
they
tint?
don't have a right to do that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, we have so many laws that are just, and people are like, well, it's just the law. Like, well, no, that's not how it works. You can't say it's just the law, and
Yeah.
so we have to do it. Like, no, you need to question this stuff.
That's where, like, I am very pro police for police doing what they actually are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like you say, protecting and
and
serving.
we live in a pretty damn safe place, but hell, there's murder and bad shit that goes on here too that they should be spending their time doing.
Yeah.
I'm even in favor of enforcing traffic laws, like where it's
Speeding, like in a
Yeah.
school zone.
yeah, where like somebody could seriously get hurt. Like
Yeah.
nobody's getting hurt by your tags. Not
Yeah,
being
if I was driving this seed tender down there doing like 85 through this 30, I'd be like, heck, hey man, yeah, I get it. Yeah, like the seed tender would have been like fishtailing like crazy, and so it's like I get it, I get
Yeah.
it. But there's just a lot of things now where I'm like, I think that we're getting a little bit unconstitutional here.
Well, and I like it when, and obviously that guy ended up being reasonable about it, but
Oh, we ended up he ended up covering up his camera, and we started talking about Joe Biden and everything else. Like it turned into the dude was cool as he could be. It actually wasn't the first time. I've not had a run-in with him, but apparently my dad and them had, because he had somebody pulled over. Not going to reveal like the cop's identity here, but he turned out to be cool. But he had a guy pulled over, and it was you remember when the bean field caught on fire back here
Yep,
last
yep,
year?
yep.
Somebody was clipping, and they had a bearing or something go down. It caught the field on fire.
Neighbors had a fire, yeah.
Yep, and it jumped into the beans, and so Dad's combine and stuff was out there, and like so he's trying to get out there they got the bulldozer and trying to find stuff. Robert is in the semi, and he's trying to turn in. Well, this cop has the drive blocked. He's got a car pulled over. Mr. Robert, he's 81 years old. I'm pretty sure he tooted the horn on the big truck, like for him to get out of the way, because they're trying to get in here. And the cop, Dad said the dude, like, he got freaking fired up and was like getting on to Robert and was like, who do you work for? And Robert just pointed over there to Dad, because I think Dad and him had like pulled in off a different spot. And Dad was like, the cop was like getting on to Dad, and Dad was like, we got a blankety blanket fire over here. My, GD combine's about to burn up. Like he said, get out of the way. And so he moved, and the cop apologized. Like, they said he saw Robert later somewhere, and he apologized. So like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on this guy, because he turned out to be like a good guy.
Well, I just like whenever they realize, like, okay, like some of these laws are stupid. Like, it's not my job to enforce these stupid. Which
Yeah.
the last one I had, and I told the guy whenever he asked, he's like, well, your tags are out. And I was like, and he asked me, he's like, you knew that? I was like, yeah. And he's like, why? That's why I just think it's bullshit. And he kind of laughed. He's like, I appreciate your honesty. And he wrote me a ticket. I was like, and I mean, he wasn't agreeing with me, but I was just like, come on, dude. Like, you
Are proving the point.
like theoretically are highly trained, to do a very specific job, and you're out here collecting taxes, basically.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. Like, be a better use of your own time. Like, have more dignity for yourself. I mean, it's like me as a vet, like trimming toenails. Like, no, went to school for 8 damn years, and I have people underneath me, and not that they're, I don't want to make that sound bad. Like, yeah, they do that. Like, I have people that do that. Like, my time is more valuable than that. I'm more trained and more skilled.
Well, that is, they
Like-
almost need like
go. Yeah, I mean,
they need
there's-
like a ticket guy that everybody can hate.
Hell no, they don't. They don't need. we
Everybody
don't
can
need any
hate that
more of
guy.
that shit. We don't need to be requiring people to do this stuff.
No, well, I agree. Yeah, I
Come
completely
up with
agree.
a way, like, all right, you got to put this permanent tag on your vehicle. It's permanently identified, whatever. So it gets stolen, whatever. Boom. But it's good to go. You don't have to renew this shit every year, because that's dumb.
Yeah.
Just so that we can have these ladies sit in this office, because that's part of it. Well, I told you the last time I put tags on my truck, or the last truck I bought, I went in there to pay for them, and their system was down.
Yeah.
And I didn't give them near as much shit as I should have. But I just got this huge grin on my face, and I was like, y'all know I don't want to be here doing this anyway. I was like, it's a sign from God.
Yeah.
And I was there first thing that morning. The last thing I want to do is stand in line to pay taxes.
Yeah.
And when I go back, they called me later on. They're like, all right, our system's back. I was like, all right. And I get up there, and there's like 15 people in line in front of me. I was like,
Made you happy.
This is the epitome of government.
Well, dude, I have gone twice now to get a new driver's license, and I went one day, I don't remember which day now, but I went up there, and it was like 30 people over there.
Yeah.
And I just still was like, hell, I got to get it. So I walked in, and the chick goes, which, you know, the people that work at the driver's license, like, I won't say over at the tag side, it's usually some pretty friendly women. Over on the driver's license side, I think they find people, and they specifically are like, if you have the personality of a 2x4, then you are a prime candidate for this position. Because I walk in there, and I mean, I was just walking to the back seat, and this chick goes, "What are you here for?" And I was kind of startled. Like, it kind of, I turn around, and it's like a chick out of the movie Deliverance over there. And she goes, I said, "Me?" And she goes, "Yes." And I said, "I need a driver's license." And she goes, "What's your ticket number?" And I said, "I ain't got a ticket." And she goes,
I'm not here for a ticket. I'm here for a license.
yeah. And she goes, "Well, we're full. You have to come back later." I said, "When should I come back?" "Monday morning." Or whatever day. I said, "All right." So I go back later. I turn around and was like, all right. So I just leave. I come back later. I guarantee you it was 20 people waiting. And I just said, man, piss on this. I'm not waiting. So I just left. So I don't know when I'll get a new driver's license. I'm still driving around with an expired driver's license.
You can't just like renew it online or whatever anymore?
Well, you can get a non-real ID that's like doesn't have the star, but then if I fly, I got to have a passport now. Like, you know, they're starting to require all this
Fuck, I
stuff.
don't
Like,
know. I'm about to fly here in a couple of months.
well, I don't know that it's in effect yet, but that's the thing. Like, by a certain time point, if you don't have the little star on your driver's license, then you have to have like further identification to fly.
Shit.
So it's just continuing.
I mean, I don't fly very often, but we're flying out west for family vacation this summer. God.
There you go, guys. Look, we don't hate cops. We like cops. Like, I call cops. Like, we've had situations
I've got
arise.
really good friends.
I do too. Like,
yeah.
and we've had situations come up. I call cops. It's when I feel like it's a time when it's like a cop should be here, but yeah, not. I don't think that I should have a cop pull them. And
if you're a cop, because I imagine we've got some that listen, like, yeah, we want you doing the things that you were really trained to do. And it's like I got buddies that are firefighters. They hate nothing more than going on like stupid medical calls.
yeah.
Like no, we signed up for this job to run into burning buildings and saving people's freaking lives.
Oh,
like,
dude, do you know how many
adrenaline pumping shit? And I know cops aren't looking to like catch bank robbers every day. They probably don't need quite that much adrenaline.
Yeah.
But you know,
Dude, I know so many
keeping
cops.
people actually safe.
I know so many cops that hate writing seatbelt tickets. Like, I know a lot of cops that won't. They just won't write
Yeah.
them. They're like, I'm just not writing seatbelt tickets. And that's what, but like, I know we have a old state trooper that'll come in here and he'll post up in town up here.
Oh, I know, because I've got one.
Yeah, if you listen to the podcast, I'm just going to tell you, I don't like you. Like, I have a real problem with it because he was sit up there. He wrote, well, I was about to say his name. I won't say his name. He wrote an 80-year-old man a seatbelt ticket. Like, he drives like 10 under the speed limit, and he wrote him a seatbelt ticket.
The one time he gave me a seatbelt ticket, I was actually kind of happy because my tags were expired. And he was like, you know, your tags are expired, but I'm just giving you this seatbelt ticket. It was like a $20 seatbelt ticket, which is bullshit. Literally, it was in town where the speed limit is 20.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like,
This is a state trooper, and
I
he
can
is in
literally-
city limits.
I'm 40 years old, and I'm pretty sure I can sprint faster than I was driving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I hit somebody else head on going also at 20 that it would even deploy my airbag.
Yes,
Probably would.
yes.
But I mean, like, yeah, it blacked my eyes. That'd be about the end of it.
Yeah.
But like, and like I just said a minute ago, I wear my seatbelt 95% of the time. But like, literally, I was going from the vet clinic to like Nafis. Like, literally, the speed limit is
Dude.
maybe 30 at a couple of points. But like, you're creeping, like you're right in the middle of town. Like,
I
yeah,
would
pull me over
purposely
just for that.
I would purposely not wear a seatbelt going through there because it made me mad. Now, my service truck, and here you go, I'm utilizing my tent. My service truck is murdered out. Like, you can't. So I would, if I saw the dude, I would pop the seatbelt off. Like, I was just, and the big C didn't come out in me when I got pulled over that one day. That's what you texted me back, and you were like, did the big C come out? I'm talking about our grandfather right back there, the man. Well, y'all can't see it on the video, but if I got pulled over for a seatbelt ticket, the big C would come out. Like I'd have something to say.
Well, he would have had something to say about being stuck there for 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, he would have. He
'Cause
definitely
I
would
remember
have.
one time he got pulled over, and as the story goes, I guess it's only him and the cop know the whole story, but but pretty much the cop was kind of lecturing him. At this point, he's in his 70s. He's like, "You can write me a ticket or you can let me go, but you're not going to sit here and lecture me."
Yeah.
Like, pretty much. Let's get this show on the road one way or the other.
Yes. Yeah. Well, again, we don't hate the cops. We want you to do what you, like I said, do what you're trained to do. Do
I
what
think
you
that was
want
the
to
same
do.
cop that then a few days later was setting up.
No, it was a different one. That was up
Okay,
at the
okay.
shop
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he walked out there. Yeah, our grandfather, I mean, he was a big guy. He's a big dude, and he didn't take no shit. And there was a cop radar in his auto parts car, lot.
Yeah, they own like a 4 or 5 acre lot right there in town.
Well,
Yeah, he was sitting in there like kind of side drive where there's not much traffic, shooting radar.
Oh, he pulled in. That's what Dad said. He got out and said, "Big C, Paw." He goes walking over there, and he walks up to the cop's window, and so the cop turns around and kind of startles him because Paw is standing there, and the cop rolls the window down and goes, "Can I help you?" And our grandfather goes, "No, I was just seeing if you were that son of a bitch that wrote me the speeding ticket." And it wasn't. And so the guy was like, "Oh, sorry, sir. I'll leave." And Pawpaw was like, "No, you can stay." He turned around and walked off, so the cop left as soon as he got to us.
'Cause he was sitting there on private property, but yeah. Anyway,
So, yeah.
all right. That's
Oh,
enough
man.
anti-gay and anti-government propaganda.
Man,
folks.
yeah.
Again, I shouldn't say anti-gay because we're not anti-gay pride.
There you go. So one thing I did, that story got us on a long one there.
This is why we never get to the topics we want to get to.
Yes. All right. I do want to mention there is a new, I'm sure the price tag will be ridiculous on these too, but have you ever heard of, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Vaderstad or Vaderstad planters? Whoops.
I have not. I would assume with that spelling, it must
Is
be
that
German.
Vaderstad?
I don't know.
It is European.
Vaderstad. You're probably supposed to roll your R. Vaderstad or something like.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, they're actually made in the United States.
Huh.
Yeah, it is a European. It's
Company.
a European designed.
Well, it's like a lot of John Deeres are made in Europe.
Yep.
Certain size John Deeres are made in like Germany.
But these are planters, and
And like Toyota trucks are made in the U.S. you know what I mean?
they're the most American made vehicle.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, most like GM, Ford, a bunch of them, they're made in Mexico.
Yeah, I knew a lot of the pickups were.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, unless it's changed, at one time I know Toyotas were the most American vehicle, which
Hey,
is
but
funny.
those electric F-150s are going to be made right here in West Tennessee
Yeah.
for at least a couple of months before they decide it.
It's not profitable.
Yeah, we got all the government subsidies and tax breaks to build an electric vehicle plant.
Now we'll
we're
swap
gonna,
them over.
Now we're going to start throwing the internal combustion engine in there.
Yep. Well, these are planters. I always like to actually see a new line break
Well, yeah,
out.
you need competition in the market.
You
if
do.
there's only
And
two companies or three.
I
or four,
want
whatever.
to see, and this is not going to be one, but I want to see an affordable line. Like Kubota actually is breaking into the row crop tractors. Have you seen they got like a 200 plus horsepower now?
Yeah.
Like they're trying to move into that, and I'm glad to see that because, and Kubotas are not. I'm not saying they're cheap tractors, but they are more affordable than a John Deere.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So if they move,
I mean, that's why I drive orange tractors.
well, and that's what I've said. What I wish we could see is a company, and I've honestly spent some time Googling. I'm like, wonder how much trouble it'd be to start an equipment company because I'm like, I would like to see tractors and combines that are literally built. They got the horsepower you need,
but they're a base model, basically.
base model. They don't have. I mean, dude, that 8R tractor. I was talking about how badass it is. I mean, yeah, it massages your ass while you run and has cooled seats. I don't need that. Like we've talked about the benefits of comfort, and I'm not saying these things need to be built like a turd, but like it's just You're buying a capable machine.
Yeah, you got the drivetrain and all you need,
Yep.
the guts to it, but
You don't have to have all the fancy bells and whistles. Like building a Ford, like I would like to see a combine, and I mean it ain't gonna. I mean, you know, with $100,000 price tag, brand new.
what's kind of like, and I don't know if they do this. Or I guess they don't on the row crop side, but my baler, I have a John Deere baler. It's a 450E.
Yeah, the economy they call it or whatever.
The E, I'm pretty sure it stands for economy.
That's
Like-
what my
like-
little tractor is.
Like it does not have anything. Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess John Deere does do that for especially that smaller stuff.
Yeah,
But
they don't do it for the big stuff though.
in that tractor, because I'm fairly familiar with kind of what that one does and doesn't have, because I've looked at buying those. It still, you could say, has more like. I mean, I don't know. It's like how far back do you want to trim it? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you might as well not even have a cab on it then. And
Yeah.
But
No air conditioner. You just got to open the windows.
cab, but no air conditioning. that's real fun. Because I pretty much anybody who's ever driven a cab tractor, especially one that's not very new, has been in that situation at
Yeah.
some point or another. And
That's
why you
pretty
see a lot of
unpleasant.
old tractors with all the windows knocked out.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But that's what I would like to see. That, like, dude, I think if you could get somebody to come out with I mean, they got to have the problem is the motors are so expensive because they got to have the horsepower. Like a planter, well, like the planter that I run, that 1245, it takes a 200 plus horsepower tractor to pull that. Like really you want to pull that with a 230 horsepower, 230, 250 horsepower tractor. I was looking at this, I was reading about this Vaderstad here, and I think it said it needs like 300 plus horsepower to pull it. But now what makes it so cool is it's a high-speed planter. These have really been piquing my interest. I don't know if, and the problem I would run into with this, like let's say it was affordable and I was in a position I could buy it. The problem is there's no dealers around here.
That was going to be my next thing. If you did have a company come out with a line like that,
Where are they going to be? Yeah.
yeah, and if they're, I mean that's the thing. Like with John Deere and Case, you know, they're so widespread, and so you almost everybody has a dealership within a reasonable distance.
And stuff is gonna break. I mean, it's just gonna happen. Like, and these planters, see, they're precision planters made for like 12 miles per hour plant,
Yeah,
which is hauling ass, man. And it's not just big guys that would benefit from this, because it's like, dude, I think about if I could have been planting 12 miles per hour, I'd be done. Like
Yeah.
I'd already be done because I plant beans 5.7 miles an hour. So I would have doubled my speed on there.
yeah.
Now I got some fields I'd have had a hard time hanging on
Right,
at
but
12
so
miles an
you're
hour.
probably not going to plant twice as many acres because you're going to have
Yeah, but now I could probably
Still going
average.
to take you just as long to turn around on the ends.
Yep.
You know.
I could probably average 8 or 9 miles an hour, and I mean that's significant when you're talking between 5.7 to 9. That's a pretty big jump. And because right now when I'm running 5.7, I think I can plant 22 acres an hour. So if I was running 9, I mean I don't even know how you'd calculate that, but it would be a pretty significant jump.
Yeah, we could write it all out and figure it out. Be just more.
Yes, more. And I mean, I would say it'd be 30, you could probably plant 36 acres an hour or something. So, you know, you'd be shagging on. And I don't know. See, this right here, I mean, it's pretty big. It holds 150 bushels, which I guess, yeah, see, my planter holds 80 bushels. So you would need a pretty good hauls to pull this thing. 150 bushels of seed. And it also has an optional 1,500 gallon liquid carrying capacity. If you had both those full, man, her wagon would be loaded. But if you could run 12 miles an hour on planting, that's pretty awesome. But that is the thing. Like it's called, for anybody wanting to look them up, the Vaderstad Tempo K. It's a 24 row planter, and they're only, from what I've seen, they're only on 30-inch. So, I mean, that'd be a big 30-inch planter because I'm planting 16 rows on 30s. But I like to plant 15-inch row soybeans, so it wouldn't really help me I don't want to do wide row soybeans. But I just think it's kind of cool. Yeah, it says the Tempo line is manufactured at Vaderstad's U.S. headquarters in Wapaton, North Dakota. So there's nothing like that in the South. There is another company, I think it's called like High Speed International or something, that they make planters that I think you can plant like 12 or 15 miles per hour. And I don't know, man, those kind of things do intrigue me because our weather has gotten so volatile that I almost feel like it's like to the point, like right now we're in the same boat. Like I think Saturday I'll be able to start back planting. Well, it's supposed to rain on Sunday. So if I had a planter where I could run 12 miles an hour, dude, I'd be busting it wide open on Saturday. I'd try to plant like every freaking field I could. And I mean, if you could run all day long, hell, man, in a day's time, you could plant 300, 400 acres in a day's time.
Yeah.
So I just think as volatile as the weather is nowadays, man, I think these high-speed planters is kind of where it's at.
Yeah, you know, you're right, because it's not that you've got, 10,000 acres to get over, but you need to get over the acres you've got in as timely a fashion as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because see, that used to be like, people used to kind of frown, I mean, people still do it. They like frown upon high-speed equipment because they're like, it's just for them bastards that are working 10,000, 20,000 acres. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, they probably would greatly benefit from that because if they're running 4 of them, hell, they'll plant, 1,000 acres a day or something. But it's like, it's not only just going to benefit them. Like if you'd ever got to where you could afford one of these, it would benefit everybody because it's never going to be bad to be in a timely fashion to get your crop in. Obviously if you're working 50 acres, there's no point to have a high-speed planter. But
yeah,
like if you're working 500 acres, 1,000 acres, and you can afford a high-speed planter, dude, I mean, I don't see a negative aspect to that. And they're a precision planter, so you're still getting a great planter, and it's capable of planting at slower speeds as well, which it's pretty sweet. Like I was looking, like a lot of planters, when you take a curve, I think they struggle to keep up with because it's like the trajectory is kind of odd.
Yeah, your outside ones, he's got to plant a lot faster out there.
Yep. This planter has curve sensing. So like as you take curves, it actually speeds up the meters on those rows, and it
on the outside, yeah.
Yeah. So like that's why I say it ain't gonna be a cheap planter. Like it's not gonna be affordable. But there is, man, I still think
if you want affordable, you need the 5400 soybean special.
You do. And I don't know how you could make I don't know. Like I think Kinsey had made some that were kind of affordable planters, but all of them now, like the new case planters, like that's what we like. The new case planters are like $480,000 now. And I mean, by the time I buy it, the thing will be pretty wore out, but I'm gonna try to run mine as long as I can. But I don't know, man. And heck, we got a little bit of time. I was gonna mention something. Like I talked to a BTO. It's been 2 weeks ago now. I think I was going to talk about it last week, and we just ran out of time. But I talked to a big time operator. That's what BTO is. Man, I'm honestly a little conflicted now. I've given them a lot of grief, and I still do I think that the big guys, because I'm in this Facebook group I've talked about, and the number one thing, if I were to poll all of the people, the number one thing that blocks them from getting into ag, they all will say is land availability, and it's dominated by the big guys. I mean, it's just that's not an unknown thing. I mean, I don't think they talk about it, but that's not like a secret. But at the same time, the other part that I kind of struggle is like I'm a very driven guy, especially when it comes to business. I want to do well as a businessman, and it's kind of like, well, on one side of me, because I'm a capitalist too, so it's like, how do I juggle? How can I necessarily be mad at the guy that's grown like a huge successful business? I don't know. And I still hate the fact whenever they stomped on people, or if you've done dirty things to get there, then I just think you're dirty. But there's guys around here that have huge operations that they haven't cheated the system or done things I don't know, man. I struggle.
Well, and I mean, the big guy's easy to hate on.
Yep.
You know, one, just because a lot of people are jealous. I mean, but two, you know, and a lot of times they've, you know, to get it big, and I'm not even talking about just farmers, but just business in general. I mean, you could even probably take it outside of business to, you know, other, you know, aspects of life or whatever. You've probably stepped on somebody's toes at the least, and maybe you've run over them with a bulldozer at the worst. And so, but I agree with you there on that, because it's like, man, you know, and then it's like, okay, you know, how big is too big? You know, 10,000 acres. Well, what if it's a guy that's got, you know, two of his sons that are in that operation too, you know, have not branched out of, you know, so then you got 3 families, you know, so then that's okay. Well, that's, you know, if you break it down like that, you know, that's not massive. And then, if they've gotten that big just by doing things the right way and just by being ambitious and outworking the next guy, then.
Well, that's what I think about it. I'm like, all right, if somebody were to call me, if one of the big guys around here, because I mean, several of the really big operations around here, you know, they're getting pretty up there in age, and I'm like, if one of them were to call me tomorrow, and they were like, man, Logan, you know, we're getting out of it. We just want you to take over. Like, we just want to hand over what we're working to you. Here's 10,000 acres, and I mean, with what I'm working, you know, like I've thought about that. I'm like, you know, I don't necessarily. I mean, it would be a hell of a headache to take on that much. Like, there's a lot of me that's like, I don't want to work 10,000 acres.
You'd be like, I need all your crew.
Yes. But I am like, but at the same time, if someone was like, you know, here's 10,000 acres, I don't know that I would be able to say no, you know, because yes, the risk is huge. I mean, the risk just literally 10x's whenever you go to that. Unless you're getting government payments, like I said, that does kind of prop you up a little bit. But the risk is big, the cost is huge. Like you said, you got to have the manpower. But I can honestly say that I don't think I would say no. So that's where I'm kind of wrestling. I'm like, well, then I'd be the BTO.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
It's like in Batman when he says,
you either die a hero or
live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that today. I would be like the villain, like, yes. You know, like. Well,
and there's a lot of truth. And that's where I've always like, man, it's because it's easy to hate on those guys, and you hear all sorts of stories, you know, about some of them, and I'm like, and some of these people I know personally, and I'm like, that ain't like that. That's not at all how those people actually are. You know? I mean, maybe they're more cutthroat in the business side of things, but I don't know. And I know people, and I'm not even talking about farming here, but they're, you know, when it comes to business, I mean, they'll say business is business. Like, they don't, you know, they're pretty cutthroat in the way they do business. I don't know if they do anything that like crosses like legal lines, of course, but they don't, like, in their mind, like, you know, and I do have a little problem with this, but like, they're not worried about hurting somebody's feelings with the business deal. Like business is strictly business, and when they go home at night, they're able to flip that switch and say, you know.
See, and that's where
they'll want to be friends with you outside of the business room, but you know, when it comes to business, like, business trumps everything.
See, and I don't. That's where, like, because I can't operate that way,
and I struggle with that too. Yeah, same thing.
Like it's like I've got.
I'm the same person, right? Whenever I'm at the vet office, you know, and so I can't, be a
flip
brutal
that switch off,
dickhead, you know, on a business deal to somebody at the office, and then see them at the grocery store an hour later.
Hey,
like,
man, how you doing? I know I just cut half of your income out. How you doing?
Or you know, I mean, right, or see them at church, and you know, right. But some people can do that, and I mean, I don't know. That's just, but.
It has made me think, just mainly because I'm like, I think part of one, I talked to this guy.
This is Logan setting y'all up for the fact that he's going to be a 10,000.
I've been offered 10,000 acres. No, I have not. But it did get me thinking. Well, and honestly, that cop, it was kind of funny. When that cop pulled me over, he said, "Oh, I know your name. You're a big farmer." And I was like, All right, yeah.
Well, but everything's about perspective.
It is. It is.
Because it's the same way on cattle. Like people, I'm like, man, I don't consider us to be big at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, well, compared to like average for the state, like yeah, we're really big. You know,
Yeah.
when you look at it just on averages.
Yeah. Well, and that's
But
what
I mean, it's like the guy making, $40,000 a year wants to be making 100,000. The guy making 100,
There's never enough.
Thinking, well, I'm not making that much money. I need to make back in 250. And then,
Yep.
yeah, then the guy making $5 million a year wants to be Elon Musk.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's where I was driving home because I talked to this guy at Subway. I walked into the Subway and the dude was in there and he knew who I was. He was like, "Hey man," he said, "You fighting the fight?" Because it was wet. And I said, "Yeah, I'm trying to. It's wet." And he said, "Oh man, we're so behind." He said, "We're just planting into stuff and just spraying." And I said, "Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm just planting into it and spraying." I mean, we had a great conversation. He was a nice guy. Now I know he's done some shady shit, but I was like, like the dude, like I kind of pride myself in being a businessman, and I've talked and got to be friends with a lot of guys that are like real hard charging businessmen, and it's kind of like the way I look at it. I have a list, but don't have a physical list, but I have a list in my head of guys that are farmers that are like my close friends that I would never pursue any of their land.
Yeah.
But like basically once you go beyond that spectrum, it's kind of a free for all to me. Now, and that's why I'm like, I don't know. I've said, 2,000, 2,500 acres is all I want. If I could pick up good ground, like, dude, I am as guilty as anybody else. Like, after running an 8R 340, I'd love to have 6 of them. I'd love to be able to like.
You can't drive 6 at one time.
But I was saying, but like, I'd love to have like, and I'd love to be able to, so I can't. It's hard for me to necessarily hate on them. And I've always said I like capitalism with values. Like that's where capitalism shines, is whenever you have capitalism with values, where guys can kind of see the big picture beyond them. And what I've always said about big farmers is I don't hate all big farmers. I just don't like the ones that have forgotten or never knew what it was like to be a small farmer. And that's where, like, I think you could become a big farmer without being a detriment to the industry if you do it in the right way. Like, you could even train, like, I've even thought, like, which I have had the good fortune of working with quite a few veterans. I've had quite a few vets or even guys that are still in the military. And I've talked to them and I'm like, man, I almost think it'd be cool to grow it to like a size where I could bring in vets and like kind of teach them how to farm and let them, because they're a lot of times when they get out of the military, they're trying to find like a new tribe. And a lot of them mesh kind of well into the ag world. And so I'm like, man, I think it'd be cool to bring in vets and kind of get them in the world. And so, but I mean, I'd need more acres. And so, I don't know. It's just something that's been bounced around in my head. I'm like, the dude they're hungry businessmen. Like to a degree, I get it. I kind of get it.
Yeah. Well, and like a lot of people are like, oh, these big corporate farms, like the really big ones around here are still all just family owned.
They are.
Farms. Like,
yep.
and they may, like some of the, like their business, you may have corporation in the name, like LLC or whatever, but they're still a family operation.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, yeah, I push back on some of that. Like
See, all right, let me raise one thing to that and ask your opinion on this, because I heard somebody say that, and they were like, all right, well, Fred or Sam Walton, whoever was still technically the owner of Walmart, but it's a corporation. How would you, because that was their pushback against that. So what would you say in that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a blurred line. Like, yeah, we're right.
Yeah, that's where it gets, it's not a, I guess what we're getting at is it's not a black and white thing like it so easily can become. And I'm guilty of it. Like, I have done it. I have lumped big operators in, and I'm like, man, they're the detriment to the industry, this kind of thing. And it's like, well, I can't say that about all of them. Like, are there some? Yeah, but I know some real shitty small farmers too. Like,
well, it's like in the veterinary world. I mean, which we're pretty simple. Like, we have one practice, like one
Yeah.
location. You know, it's a pretty big one, but it's just one. You know, there's lots of practice owners out there that own 2, 3, 4, you know, plus locations, and we have one particular in the area, really good businessman on, you know, I don't know how many they got up to, but eventually they got so big, because the big thing in veterinary medicine is practices like ours sell out to corporate groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's tempting. I mean, like they come in and offer you more money than it's actually worth. And so, because a lot of us, like me included, like whenever I decide to retire one day, if my kids don't want to take over, I say, no, I'm not going to sell to a corporate group. I'll find another individual that wants to
Yeah.
carry it on as a private practice but the corporations offer you more than it's worth,
Yeah.
which means an individual can't even get financed to match that offer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but anyway, yeah, that and some of them get so big that they have to sell to a corporate because, or they have to become a corporation or part of a corporate group because they can't, you know, just for, you know, financial purposes, they can't, you know, get any bigger. Not to get into all the details, but so yeah, it's like, man, you know, and like we definitely, especially as a still a privately owned or independent practice, we're extremely like anti-corporate, and we use that to our advantage in some of our hiring because it's a lot of vets, you know, don't want to work for corporate groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, we beat that drum pretty hard. Like, yeah, you can come in here, you practice the way you want, you do your thing. We're not going to tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
You have DVM after your name.
Yeah.
You have the same degree I did. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. But anyway, yeah, I was off on a little tangent.
Well, that's what all that to say, guys. Like, if you're blasting big farmers, because this is what I've kind of had to challenge myself. If you're hating on the big farmers, I just want you to ask yourself seriously, like, really sit down and think about if you were approached by one of these guys that's getting older, and he was like, "Man, I've got 10,000 acres. I'd like for you to take it over. I'm going to pass it on to you." Would you say no? Because if I feel like if we want to blast all of them, then you'd have to say no. And that's where I've thought about myself. I'm like, honestly, if that happened today, I would probably take a chance at working 10,000 acres.
Well, I don't know that anybody would do this, but I guess if you wanted to pretend that you were going to be all virtuous and stick, like, no, how about this? How about you instead of renting, you know, or turning all that 10,000 acres over to me,
divvy it out.
yeah, let's give 500 acres to 20 small and beginning farmers.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I mean, yeah, and that sounds great in theory. Yeah, we're going to bring, that's all that new blood. But of course, you know, a whole bunch of them are going to go belly up, just statistically speaking.
Yep.
You know, and then it would just, it would be a disaster. I mean, it shouldn't say that, but it would be, it would really be a nightmare. Even if you ended up waking up from it turning out decent, it would be a nightmare getting it there.
It would. Yeah, it definitely would.
But I've seen some guys like through social media that I don't know how big they were because they weren't in our immediate area, but must have been pretty good sized farmers. I didn't get the impression that they were just massive. That, you know, said, you know, kind of some of the same things you've said, like, hey, we need new blood and all this. And so, like, hey, I kind of put my money where my mouth is, and I'm like start like a mentorship program where I'm gonna take on somebody from our community that wants to farm but doesn't have the ground or whatever, and I'm gonna finance them. You know, I'm gonna give them 200 acres of mine. You know, not give it to them, but I'm gonna sublease it out to them, let them do it. You know, to try to let them get their feet wet, and you know, if they fail at it, you know, I just take the ground back.
See, and that's where I say you can be a big operator and you can do it in the right way.
Yeah, it'd be really neat to see somebody, especially with some of these that are really big and like got, you know,
acres to spare
and the staff to kind of work out kind of all those details and say, all right, I'm gonna, and in many cases, like if they're that big, they probably got a hand that works for them. You know, it's a 25-year-old guy that, you know, been driving a tractor for them. It's like, nah, man, I want to do this, and say, all right, well, we're gonna sublease this 200 acres out to you. You make the decisions. You'll pay us, you know, whatever custom rate, you know, for us to, you know, because obviously if you don't have the equipment one night, that's a cool plan. If any of y'all out there are some big time guys that could potentially do something like that, I challenge you to maybe just explore it, see if it'd work.
Well, and that's what I put out that challenge. Like I said, I mean, honestly, like I said, largely for myself, just to say, you know, hey, can I hate on them really when, in all honesty, if I think everybody deep down wants to be the big guy. So like I say, I do think there is probably some jealousy. I honestly, I mean, I would pick up 10,000 acres and then like the next year be like, this is awful. Like, I mean, and I have been there where, I mean, last year I was actually working a little more acres than I am this year just because I lost that solar panel farm. And I just remember last year I was like, phew, I don't know if I want to work much more ground than this. But just say, guys, you know, not everything's black and white when it comes to it. I will say, dude, I always feel like a gangster going up to the clinic where Bobby Lee and them are at, like, because I usually just walk in, and which today I was filthy. Like, I had been working on the turbo till.
I never even asked you why you came by. Were you just hanging out?
No, I came by because I had a bill for Penny for our golden retriever, but I walked up there and. Like, I go up to the counter, and the woman's like, hey, it was two women I didn't know. Like, a lot of times I know the women at the front desk, and they're like, oh, yeah, and they'll pull up anything. Well, you know, your mom handles my bill. And so I go in there, and the chick's like...
You get the family discount.
Yes, yeah. And the chick goes, she goes, what's the name on the account? Or what's the phone number? And I said, I told her my phone number. And she goes, I'm not finding it in here. And I said, well, I was like, you know, and she goes, what's the name? And I said, Logan Hanks. She goes, you must be family. I was like, I am. Yeah, I am. And she's like, I'm not finding that in here. And I said, Penny, you can search my dog's name. And she searched it.
Penny, there would be like 1,000.
Yes. Well, then one of the women comes out from the back that she's like, hey, Logan, hey. And I'm like, hey. And I said, they can't find me in here. And she comes over and she's like, why can you not find him? Like, he's like, and she finds it immediately. And she goes, well, you can't pay your bill yet. And I was like, why? And she was like, well, because Miss Mary has not run it. Like, she's got to.
It's got to run across her desk.
Yeah, she's got to do it. She's like, just don't pay it right now. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to walk in the back. I just turn, and it's like always some people in there, and they're kind of like, what is it? And I just walk through the back doors.
Yeah, there's probably 15 people waiting to be seen. And
I just blow up in there and then chat with them for a while. But, hey, we do got to mention my other cousin, she needs a man. Allie, that works with you. She said for us to mention us. She may not have meant it seriously.
I did not hear her say it.
But she said, hey, y'all are recording a podcast tonight? I said, yeah. And she goes, tell them that I need a boyfriend.
Oh, Lord.
So, Allie, I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't even know where you'll find her on social media.
If you guys are interested, if there's a single man listening.
No creepers out there.
Yeah, no creepers. She's my cousin. I don't want her getting some weirdo.
She's actually not related to me because she's on
my mom's side. Yeah,
but she's kind of become almost like a little sister.
Yeah, she's worked with y'all now for a while.
Yeah, she's been there for a little while now. Which we've had some. Which actually, I look at several of them almost as like my younger sisters because they've just worked for us for so long.
Yeah.
And I'm older than all of them now.
Well, I think she even babysits Drew's kids.
She babysits mine sometimes.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
We haven't been on that date night in so long.
She's got some motherly qualities. She works. So blonde-headed. So, you know, like I said, if you're interested, again, I guess I'd have to text her and be like, send me a picture of you to send to somebody else.
Because I don't know the full demographics of our audience, I'm even afraid to know what she might. Yeah, I want y'all to do me proud. I don't want her. If a week from now she's like, you wouldn't believe the shit I've got in my inbox.
Yes. Well, like I said, she's not on Facebook, so I can't tell them. Like, so you'll have to just reach out. Look, if you're a single dude and you're not a weirdo, then feel free to respond.
But is anybody a weirdo in their own mind?
Well, that's true. That is very true. No. But respond. If you're embarrassed, you can write in, and I won't blast you out to the world. But I will tell Allie. Her name's Allie. Like I said, she's awesome. She's really cool. So, you know, write in and say, hey, I might be interested. Whatever. Hey, and look, we're not going to stop. Hey, we're not going to hate you.
Hey, we've talked a lot of farmer wants a wife. I mean,
we may do our own little thing
we
here.
We might be like dating show experts.
That's right. That's right. So And she actually, I think, may even have submitted an application there. So you need to hurry up. You know, she might get selected for that.
Yeah, you might have already waited too long.
Yep.
But if you're a single guy out there, I would also encourage you to reach out to them.
And apply. Yeah, that'd be all. I would love to see one of our listeners be on that show. That would be awesome.
Oh, if one of our listeners out there made it onto the show, like it, and I know there may be some rules about whether or not they can say that they're on it, but I'd love to get them some swag.
That's what to wear on the
to
show.
actually be wearing on the
That's
show.
exactly what I was just
But I've
thinking.
noticed on the show they're really good about. They always make them have on like unbranded.
If you
stuff.
notice the beers, they've always taken the stuff off of them. Yeah. What little film I ever did, I remember they used to put black tape over the front of a car, like a Chevy.
Oh, yeah.
They'd put the.
Well, I noticed on some TV shows they really make sure that you don't. Well, like on Yellowstone, which I assume I don't know if they get money from them or
They're
just
definitely sponsored by Ram.
Yeah, or if like Ram just like, no, we'll just give you all these trucks.
Yeah.
They probably do that. The same way with all the horse trailer brands. I can't remember if it's Platinum or maybe in Bloomer. It's one of the really nice horse trailer brands. It's like all the trailers. Like, yeah, they clearly, it's like they're all or Elite. It's one of the really nice.
If you're ever watching a TV show or a movie and you like blatantly can see a brand, it's product placement.
Well, and a lot of like reality shows and stuff. I used to watch Alaska: The Last Frontier. Did you ever watch that one?
No, I know what you're talking about.
I really was into that one for a while. It was pretty cool. But like they'd be wearing like clearly like a Carhartt jacket, but it would have like duct tape over the Carhartt.
yeah.
I'm like, look, and like sometimes it wouldn't be on it good.
You could kind of see the emblem a little bit.
I guess like they're not sponsored, so they're not giving me any free product.
Well, that's like, they drink Bullet on Yellowstone, and like it show like I said, man, anytime you can really see it, you know that there's some money, like it's some product placement going on.
Well, on Farmer Wants Wife, of course. Oh gosh, I've forgotten all their names now. Nathan.
Yeah.
He's an ag gear guy like you and I are.
Yep.
And you don't, if you didn't know he was, but there's one time he's wearing like one of their polos. I was like, that's an ag gear polo, but the logo's not like big time on the shirt.
Yeah, I think it's on the sleeve on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that they wouldn't let him have one of the ones that just says it. Real
yep.
big. But anyway, I assume they wouldn't.
You got the man.
Got the man.
Hey, yeah, like I said, go to talkdirtpodcast.com, contacts. Let me know if you're a single man looking for a woman. Now, she's pretty family oriented, so it'd be probably in your best interest if you live kind of close to West Tennessee. But I mean, hey, I don't know. I mean, Allie.
Yeah, hey, she's a valuable employee, so yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, Bobby Lee don't want to lose his employee over here.
You can't be having her move away. So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, reach out if you're looking, because you never know.
Speaking of our man, did you see him today? You're probably busy.
Is that where he left and the French president had to go over and shake the World War II vets' hands?
Well, I didn't even see that. There's a clip where he and Macron, and I guess Macron's wife, the French first lady, and of course Dr. Jill Biden are all on stage, and they're all just standing there. And it's just a blank stage, and Joe like starts squatting, like
for the chair that wasn't there.
Of course, a lot of people are like, no. He's like, I've seen that stance before. I've got a toddler. he's shitting his pants.
Pooping.
But I really think it's more likely that he's like going to sit down, but there's no chair there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just one of those moments where he's like clearly having a senior moment. And like Jill even like, she like covers her mouth like she's like sniffing her fingers or something weird. But you can clearly, I mean, I'm almost certain she's saying, stand the fuck up, Joe.
Yeah.
And like, she's, and it's just like, what the hell? And like Macron and his wife are like, I mean, do we like smack him in the head before he busts his ass?
See, it was right after that, because they leave. Jill and old Joe, they leave, and they apparently had some World War II veterans there. The French president's like, he's kind of like looking around like, and the two vets, so he runs over there and he like shakes their hand. So like the French president had to shake the World War II vets' hands because
it's crazy. He's going to do this stuff. Like, we've seen him all on camera enough times here lately.
But how can he be president for 4 damn more years?
Oh no, you're right. But it's the whole thing. it seems like the Secret Service and all will get with Macron before him and be like, all right, this is the way it's supposed to go. All right, we know Joe is going to have a senior moment and forget this shit. Already have in your mind what you're going to do whenever he inevitably walks the wrong way off the stage, totally blows off somebody that he's supposed to, shake their hand, or if he just totally busts his ass, like we already be thinking, like, it's not like we're going to be like, whoa, caught completely off guard when this shit happens.
But could you imagine the weight that we put on them, though? Because they're going to be like, oh, shit.
But apparently they don't. Now, these people are like, whoa, I can't believe he forgot to shake these. Like, what? Have you never seen him in a public appearance before?
It's kind of like what you shared today, where it's like, we can see him. Cat Williams is like, we can clearly see him. We can see him, right?
Jill's talking about how, like,
steadfast and
strong he is.
It's like, we can see him, right?
But anyway, so, all right. We've talked him up enough. Let's let him talk. Oh, no.
He's still not on the thing.
We're so high tech.
He's still not on the thing.
We start off with 2 words. Made in America.
You got it tonight?
I have a running list. I can do one.
Do one. I ain't got one offhand tonight.
I got one. Actually, it's not even on my list, but I was using it tonight. At at t-ball practice. And you could do a lot of different baseball glove companies. Like a lot of them, good leather goods made in USA. But
yeah,
I was wearing my old Rawlings glove.
Okay.
And I was noticing, and I just, of course they've got all kinds of stuff, printed on them, whatever, genuine leather and everything.
Yeah.
But the kind of part of the logo on mine is American flag, and I was like, this damn thing better damn well be made in America. And I flipped it over and like inside the palm, made in USA.
Hey, okay.
So,
I would have honestly thought those things were just made in China.
No, because I can think of, like, I know, which I won't mention another brand because we're giving Rawlings a shout out, but one my wife has that was her glove when she played in high school, it's made in USA.
Okay.
Not all of them, but I think a lot of them are made in USA.
Nice.
But I specifically will shout out Rawlings.
I've got one up there. I bought me and the kids some just to chunk around in the yard some, so that's pretty cool. Rawlings.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I don't know what is that? Just Google Rawlings. You can find them.
Yeah.
Hey, you can get them at Walmart.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Rawlings, Academy Outdoors, whatever. What's the one we got? Dunham's. We got a Dunham's down here in Millington. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably Rawlings.com. But.
Yep. Y'all check that out then. That'd be good. Get you that. While you're doing that, go to agzaga.com. Jump on there. Get you something good. Again, Talk Dirt, all one word, all caps, 10% off. No more free shipping, but still 10% off. And so, I mean, like I say, the deals are already great to begin with. So,
well, and the shipping, like I say, you will be amazed, like on the Belknap wrap, at how reasonable the shipping is, because that's a big,
heavy, awkward,
bulky
thing.
item. How fast it is and how reasonable it is. I pretty much will guarantee you, especially if you use that 10% off code, you can get it shipped to your shop door, your front door, whatever, wherever you want it shipped, and it'll be cheaper than driving into town to the farm store to buy it.
It will. Yep. All right, guys. Leave us a rating and a review. Dang it. You know what? We said we'd have the giveaway stuff ready this week. I don't have it ready.
We did. Yeah. So what do we need to come up with? What we're giving away?
I did have somebody, one of our listeners wrote in, and he said he would rather clear out his calendar and come and do it in person. So we can do both.
Look, we need guests. It's been a few weeks since we've had a guest episode. So if somebody wants to show up in person to pick up their prize pack and do
there you go
a podcast, they can. But at the very least, they're going to get a prize pack.
I was going to say, prize pack for sure.
We don't know what's going to be in the prize pack, but it'll be cool.
Yeah. If you're like, man, I don't want to drive all the way from Australia. We got some Australian listeners.
Man,
fly here.
If you drive here from Australia, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what we would do for you. If we have an Australian listener win, then by God, they better come here and do it in studio. Yeah, we cannot cover your travel costs.
Yeah, we won't quite cover your, what is that, like a 16-hour flight or something?
We would have to talk with some sponsors about sponsoring your travel.
Yes. Yes. So, all right, guys. Next week, I promise, I'll have the giveaway stuff up. Leave us a rating and a review. We're like 200 and something.
And
Let's
so
keep
we'll
pushing
have
it.
an entry form on the website.
We will have an entry form on the website next week. I promise. Be watching, and it'll probably drop. Be watching on our Instagram, and I'll let you know on there. But it'll run for a while, so don't worry. Like we tried, I think we ran it for like nearly a month last time.
Yeah.
So I'll let it run for a while so that everybody gets a chance to enter. Try to keep
But
it.
if you're entering, you dang well better be one of the people that's left a rating and a review.
That's
I
right.
don't know that we have a way to verify that, but if you're going to take the time to enter, take the 30 seconds to leave a rating and a review. It'd be really cool, like if you're like me and you're on an Apple or iPhone, of course, go to Apple Podcast, whatever, leave one there. But then go to Spotify and leave one there too.
Yep, I do the same thing. Yep.
Yeah, we really love you if you do that.
Yeah, I think I can set up a way where you get some bonus entries maybe that way. So I'm gonna work on it. But all right, guys, we'll catch you next week.
Yep, y'all have a good one.